Yo, 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 yo. What's good, man? What's good?
Let's
What is
do
good, man? Man, we had an exciting weekend.
it. I'm talking about all the
Very
football,
exciting. But uh
football games, Falcon news. It's a lot of
yeah.
different things happening around here around the NFL, man. But offense. Awful. Also, for those who haven't been around, of course, we have a new guy under helm, Kevin Stefanski, officially hired, and what we're here to talk about today is the fact that the rest of the coaching staff is coming together.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? But before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all keep coming on in, man. We letting y'all come on in, man. We definitely gotta holler at the chat saying what up, what it do.
But like Jared and the thing you said, if y'all haven't heard the news, Sean McDermott has been fired by the Buffalo Bills.
Indeed.
And it's really not a surprise.
At all.
Because he was on thin ice going into the season anyway. And sometimes, like we say on the show, Chris just told me, and we say it all the time. Sometimes you can hold on to somebody too long, and it'll cost you.
Yeah, man. You really can. So and then the writing was on the wall too, man, because you think about it. If you can't get past like really this was like for them, considering the fact like it was like the weakest with competition. You ain't have to worry about Mahomes. You ain't have to worry about Burrow, etc. But I mean, you still had
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson. But the thing that I think that was a misconception too, because at the end of the day, people are not talking about how the fact like the Broncos had been building, the fact that the Patriots used their cap space and built very quickly and got their
Right.
coach and everything. So it's a lot of different variables that goes into it. But to go and get bounced out like the first round, it didn't look good. It didn't look good for him. So I'm not surprised at all that the Bills did that. And now that's another vacancy.
Yeah.
So many coaching vacancies this year, man. What about 10
And
total?
I might have to go back on my word, bro. Ryan Morris may get another job. There's
Hey,
so many openings. I mean, look,
openings. It's a lot
if
of
he a defensive minded guy, what if one of these team want a defensive minded guy to head the ship? I mean, look, it happens.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, let's say what's up to the chat. Red Sox 2677. What's up, my guy? He said, "What's going on? Hope everything well with you and family. As far as the head coach hire, I want to see how our first 6 games go before I give my opinion on
Mm,
if this was a bad hire or not. And that's
yeah.
the type of attitude we all need to take, man. Let's keep it real. We
Mm,
don't know what's going to happen until it just happens in our face and see what's going on. And let's be real too. We in the win now mode, true enough. But you got to give these guys time to jail. One
right.
mistake I just hope he don't make is what we've been talking about the last 3, 4, 5 years. Let the guys play in preseason. See what you got. Let them jail. Let them do what they need to do.
Right.
Because one thing about it, man, if you go in that first game flat, like I tell y'all all the time, that's it tone for the season.
You can.
But I agree with Red Sox, man. Just let's just see what happens, and then we'll judge later down the road. But go ahead.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And that's the kind of really that's the mentality we should have. Like, because I've been seeing what's been going on, like the outrage behind this, what I'm saying, it's just been absolutely like bizarre. It's been very bizarre. I feel like I haven't,
Right,
like I tell Smitty, I haven't seen an outrage over anything around the Atlanta Falcons really since the Michael Vick situation with the dogs. So
right.
it's like that's crazy, what I'm saying. I'm like, I did not know that Kevin Stefanski had this much hate towards him, and I know some of it comes from the Shador situation. But regardless, I ain't trying to sound crazy or anything, but that situation has nothing to do with the Atlanta Falcons. I understand.
Absolutely.
I understand that Dion used to play for the Falcons. I understand the relationship that we have and everything like that, and then that's his son and stuff. But us as fans within who love this team, that has nothing to do with us. We need to care about whether this man can come here and end our playoff drought the way he ended that 18-year playoff drought for the Browns. Like, is his best days still ahead of him? Is he can like Smitty? I'll give a
He's
comparison.
still young, bro. He just 43. He's still
Is he
young.
is he our Mike Vrabel? Because
He could
Vrabel
be.
because
He could
Vrabel was
be.
with Tennessee. I feel
Could
like
be,
we're a
bro.
bit better of an organization in Tennessee, bro. And with that also being said, I feel like we're hoping that he can turn things around like Vrabel has turned things around in New England, a team that we really had the talent to beat this year. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just like we just kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. That was an excellent comment, Red Sox, because we do have to see what we gonna look like. But again, it's just gotta work. That's all.
Yep. But yeah, can't put it no better than that. Randy Payne asked, "Do you think the Bills head coach would have been a better fit for the Falcons?" Absolutely not. I've always said he was a bit overrated. Now he's a damn good coordinator, but when you talk about how he's had late game collapses over the last 2 years, uh, pretty much a lot of coaches deal with that. But I think Josh Allen carried him the last 2 years he was there, and to his point, they never had a number one receiver. So them not having a number one receiver for a star quarterback is a problem in itself. Um, let's see.
That's tough.
Jew, what's up, man? Yeah, these final 2 games gonna be lit.
Oh
They gonna
yeah.
be lit. Steve, good morning, my guy. He said, I'm
Hey,
giving all this a chance. Love the master class from yesterday. Hey, we got a better master class coming tomorrow. Our boy Todd McClure gonna stop in and talk to us, man, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock to
y'all
go a
make
little bit more in depth into what's going on. Um, I mean, we're not gonna ask no obvious question, but we just gonna beat around the bush a little bit, to get his ideas of what's going on, man. Because I know that he's played in the NFL. He knows Matt Ryan. He knows how this organization works in and out. So we're gonna pick his brain just a little bit to see, his thoughts on what happened so far. And one thing about it, that I agree with A1. Um, when you talk about um him being possibly being the Mike Vrabel. And also what he means by that is you got to look at the people that he about to bring in too. I love Dwayne Ledford, love him to death.
Yeah,
Think he's one of the best offensive line coaches in the league.
same.
But with Stefanski, his type of coaching and what he coaches the most, it just wouldn't work. And what I mean by that, he's a run heavy type offensive line coach. That's why we got these bigger, guys on the offensive line. But with Stefanski coming in, it's going to be a little bit more balanced. So you're going to have to get a little bit lighter at certain positions. Also, you're going to have to get younger. And that means Jake Matthews. That could mean Caleb McGarry. But the center position is got to get fixed. Tyler Linderbaum may be their first choice. We talk about cornerback, we talk about wide receiver, but what about the center position? Ryan Nuzil was just, a fill-in for a year and could bring it back as a backup. So, and yeah, I'm gonna ask Todd about all that because he played the center position. So
I'm
that
about to say,
offensive line question is gonna be one of my top questions. But
shoot, we may have to harp
also,
on that a
go
lot.
ahead, go
No,
ahead.
so we may have to harp on that.
Yeah, and it's just so many ways that we can go now that we know exactly um what we up against. We know the shortfalls of what position need depth. Uh, what we need playmakers on offense. On defense, we know we need a cornerback too. We're probably
Yeah,
gonna need another slot corner because we don't know what's gonna happen with D. Alford or Clark Phillips. Mike Hughes, if he comes back, he could be the new slot corner. But no, I take that back. Billy Bowman,
said,
when he's healthy, yeah,
Come
he's the slot guy.
on
So I
now.
mean, we just don't know, man. And to see them build this team, and pick and choose as to who to keep, and how it flows, is just gonna be interesting because I think bringing back Jeff Ulbrich was the key because the way he carried this team, and I put it up on the video I put out last night, 57 sacks, second in the league, franchise record. You got to build on that. And he can coach the defense, him and Nate Ollie. They can coach the defense by themselves. Kevin Stefanski, all he has to do is worry about the quarterback position and scheming and calling plays and worry about the film room. Everything else taken care of on the defensive side, especially with Jerry Gray being over there, also being associate head coach. So,
Yeah, both sides.
yeah,
Yep,
go
keep
ahead.
it out both sides. Got to build off of it because again, we've made that mistake before. with Ryan Nielsen, I mean, he only got us 42 sacks, yeah, but at the end of the day, at that time, those 42 sacks was lovely, but we still allowed him to walk out the door when we allowed Raheem Morris to come in the door and do what he wanted to do. So now the Falcons are learning from that experience, letting a quality guy go somewhere else, and they just want to make sure that they keep the guy that helped set records for the defense, intact, along with Nate Ollie. Again, biggest acquisition, even bigger than Jeff Ulbrich for me, was Nate Ollie, because how he worked out, had those guys working in the trenches, and seeing some of those things on the sideline pregame when the guys are coming out there kind of warming up. He would be out there too with the guys, still helping them with training drills and everything, getting those guys together before the game. Like, just he's very hands-on, and I think the guys love him, and they show it with their play. So yes, you have to keep that going along. And let's talk about it, yeah, because let's take a step back to the offensive line. And yes, Dwayne Letford, I do believe that the chemistry is important. I believe that's something very underrated in sports. But you think about it, Bill Callahan, right? A very experienced offensive line coach, 14 different offensive linemen he's coached have made 35 collective Pro Bowls. We're talking about guys like Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, guys like Nick Mangold. They're just, if any of those names, are familiar to you guys. So he has that credibility. But I will say this too, though. I feel like when he has talent at the offensive line, like a talent, like above average talent, then he will be able to succeed. If he has like mediocre or weak units, I feel like at Tennessee, because those offensive linemen weren't good like that. Right. And you saw it because Cam had a bad year. He was most of the time running for his life, so he down there. So that is something that you have to take advantage of. I do think that we have a better offensive line and better talent than the Tennessee Titans. So to feed back into that, having success with elite or above average offensive linemen, I feel like we're catering back into the strength of a Bill Callahan also coming back in here. And hopefully we can go ahead and have a few Pro Bowlers, even though we have Pro Bowlers, but maybe we can have a few more along that offensive line of guys who can make the Pro Bowl. So I am excited to see what Callahan can come in here and do and possibly bring, because again, strengths of definitely we know he's his technique and his fundamentals as far as angles, what leverage, combo blocks, the zone timing, all that stuff. We know that those are his strengths and everything. So I'm interested to see what he's going to be able to bring to this offensive line. That is not a bad offensive line. It's definitely better than Tennessee's.
Agreed. And when you look at also Bill Callahan, he's coached some of the best offensive line we've ever seen. You talk about the Hogs in Washington. He was one of the first. He was with that team for a long time. He learned under Joe Gibbs, and we all know Joe Gibbs was the king of offensive linemen, teaching those guys in Washington. So when you look at it, shout out to my boy Tone, man. Y'all go check out Tone on YouTube, man. YouTube, TikTok, Mr. Field General. He be killing that Madden, man. He be having folks over there crying on that Madden.
Oh,
what's up, Tone? But yeah, man, when you talk about what Bill Callahan bring, that veteran leadership, it's just changed, man. It's just, and I talked about it being uncomfortable. I think they made the fans uncomfortable, and that's something new, and that's something that you like to see. So if this does work, and I think it will, make everybody feel bad, and I have no problem with that. Sometimes you have to prove a point, for people to trust you. And a lot of people are mad about the Matt Ryan hiring. A lot of people are mad about Kevin Stefanski. But when you got a plan in place, and you think that you can fix it with just a tweak, I think this is one of those times, because you look at our offense, the game that Zach did do a decent job. Falcons look like a playoff team. Any other time, they look like a 2-14 team because inconsistency. And we talk about the Cleveland situation all the time, but y'all got to think, he did put Baker Mayfield in a position to win, and he set the rookie record for touchdown passes rookie year. But what do they go do in Cleveland? Go
Get
Trade
Deshaun
Watson.
And again, let it be known, Stefanski was verbally he wanted to continue to build with Baker, but the front office said, no. We're gonna go up here and get Deshaun Watson, and we'll be even better team. We're gonna trade our draft picks. We're gonna pay him this money guaranteed to not be able to go out and get other players. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Not being able to have money to go get other players. But anyway, back to the story. And then next thing you know, they have no draft picks. So they just recently got draft picks back, and they took Mason Graham this past year, who had a good rookie season up there for the defense. But even beforehand, like all that, you want this guy to work with whatever you want him to work with. And then in the draft, it's so crazy because they go get Dylan Gabriel, and then they go back and get Shedeur Sanders. Not only did they go get Shedeur Sanders, they leapfrogged the Eagles, who were prepared to draft Shedeur Sanders, and they leapfrogged them to take him. And just the look on his face, it was just like, this wasn't my decision. So at the end of the day, you got to just leave whatever happened up there in Cleveland. What we're hoping for is that two-time coach of the year is still in there somewhere.
Oh, he's still there.
That's what I'm saying. We're hoping that he's still in there, and we're hoping that his best days are not behind him. That some of his best days are still in front of him, because okay, let's keep it real. Yeah, the last two seasons, he did have a worse record than Raheem Morris. Yes, he did. But it's like when you look at it,
think about what he lost, though, Chris. Think about what he lost.
I mean, I'm just look about what he lost. I mean, think about what he did not have. Think about the disadvantages here and there. Think about him just being Cleveland, But I don't want to use that as an excuse, because I'm the same guy to say, hey, man, coaches got to coach, and you win with the talent that you have. And going back to it, we had a guy that did win games with less talent. So it's like coaches still got to coach. And I don't feel like Kevin Stefanski coming in here has an excuse. He's an experienced coach, right? That's what you wanted. We have that. He needs to be able to come in here and put his hands on this offense, and the snap of a finger, we are back out here doing the things. Now, I know it takes a little time, but that's why you got the offseason for. He's going to have a whole offseason. I want to hit the ground running come week one and show the NFL the Falcons are back. Anything less than that in the first 6-7 games, all right. You already know what kind of consequences are going to be.
Right. But I want to add this on to what you said. Reports are that him and Matt Ryan are collaborating on who to name GM next. Mm-hmm. And see, this is what I've been telling y'all, and I've been telling y'all this for the last week. We don't have a GM. We just got a coach. Matt Ryan is going to be the GM until a GM is put in place. But at the end of the day, Matt Ryan probably still going to have the last word. So he's already the acting GM. And to me, the GM is really going, and they said it's not going to work like that. But let's be real. If Matt sees something he don't like, he going to say something. Mm-hmm. So he going to really be over the GM. So he really going to be the GM, and the GM going to be the assistant GM. But no matter who they bring in, and I think it's a good thing that they working with Kevin Stefanski, trying to figure out who the GM they want to bring in. It's between two candidates. It's Ian Cunningham in Chicago, and it's Josh Williams in San Francisco. Now, this could work either way. Mm-hmm. You bring in a guy from San Francisco, guess what? You can get Mac Jones, he's probably going to follow. Because, I mean, he's with the organization. He can work out a trade for Mac Jones. And even if they want a third or fourth round pick, you don't have to give it to them this year. You can give it to them next year.
Right.
So it's always ways to work out things. And with Ian Williams being friends with, working up under Matt Ryan's good friend, Ryan Poles in Chicago, the connection has been there since the offseason started, because Ryan Poles was giving Matt Ryan a masterclass on how to become a GM and how to work in the front office. So he knows Ian Cunningham personally. So they have a personal relationship. So this is why I like Ian Cunningham to be the GM, because with relationships and growing relationships and new relationships, probably with Kevin Stefanski also, Um, I think that's probably a smart move to make. If you have if you clicking with one guy and you bringing another guy to the equation, and y'all come up with a formula on how to win and how to do things the right way, and I mean that's a recipe for winning. So I mean we do have to wait and see, but the way that I see that they're doing now and what they're doing and how they're doing it, I kind of like it because they just doing things that they haven't done before. The old Falcon way is what we hire who we want to hire. We put in place who we want to put in place, and it's gonna go our way. No, y'all asked for no Rich McKay. Y'all got no Rich McKay.
Mm-hmm.
So now, just let it all play out.
Yeah, and also too, it's like I don't agree with Mark Zeno much at all, but he had a statement that he said about, well, when the Falcons hired Matt Ryan, there was really more joy than hate. Like, I think, honestly, from what I was seeing, about 80% of the fan base was with it. But then, you hire Kevin Stefanski, and it's like 60-40. And I want to say 60, hating it. And it's just like you can't have it both ways. You can't lose faith in Matt. Matt wanted an experienced head coach to be able to handle this roster. He didn't want to, and you think about it too. Clint Kubiak is still winning. There's a chance that when we got to the end of this road, that Clint Kubiak still didn't pick us, y'all. Again, we just got to take those glasses off for a second and be like, remember, think outside of the box. You still got the Ravens. You still got Buffalo now. My point is you still got other organizations that have been further and have done more than you. So you're talking about if getting a guy like Clint, especially if he wins the Super Bowl or even gets to the Super Bowl, you're talking about the overpay that you're going to have to do to get him in Atlanta as a head coach will be absolutely. He may get paid more than Harbaugh because you may have to outbid teams that has more pedigree than you just because you're the Atlanta Falcons.
Facts.
I mean, I love my team, but I got to keep it real.
Yeah. John Newcomb, appreciate you, my guy. He a Cleveland Brown fan. He said, you guys will be winning games. You got one of the best two coaches available. Cleveland Brown fans here. Shout out to you, John. Appreciate you coming through. And if a Cleveland Brown fan saying that, and see, this is the thing. When you got a front office that's dysfunctional as they were, with Berry and him not being able to work together, that was a problem in itself. When Andrew Berry out there making moves without his approval of who he can coach, that's a problem. And that's why I said, that's why I love what Matt is doing, include him into what's going on with the hiring process with the GM, how well he feel like they can work together. All of this makes a difference. When you have dysfunction in the front office, that just drain. We know it from Rich McKay, and we keep saying that. Rich McKay and Terry Fontenot and these guys, we know when it started at the top, it just drained right on down to the coach and the roster, and it shows on the field. So if a Cleveland Brown fan is telling you that he's a good coach, what else do you need to see? And then he watched it for 7 seasons. He watched it.
Yeah, I mean, some fans are saying that that watch Cleveland too is like they're trying to say, man, we still had 4 losing seasons out of 6 or 7. So
yeah, 7.
Because it's gonna be again all off season. It's going to be like this. You're going to have some that's like, oh, I'm absolutely down with it. You're going to have some that's like absolutely stupid, and then you're going to have some that's in the middle. And I feel like there's a lot of people that's kind of like waiting in the middle because it's like, yeah, but he coached the Browns, and then it's like, but he didn't have the talent, and it's like, well, he has the talent now. We let's just wait and see, y'all. Let's just wait and see. I feel like that's the best thing to do, and the best way to keep yourself from being so stressed about the situation. Just wait and see. Now, this is a good question right here because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm glad that you asked this because it really segues right into the rest of the coaching staff. I mean, of course, we know about Jeff. I talked a bit about Callahan, but yeah, old Tommy Reeves.
Yeah,
that's Tommy Reese is scheduled to be the offensive coordinator, and that's where I disagree. That's where I disagree.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you got to think he's gonna be more of a quarterback coach. Even though they may hire another quarterback coach, I think TJ Yates is gone as well. They got to hire a wide receiver coach. They got to hire all that. But yeah, I feel like I agree. That's where the mistake gonna lie. But at the same time, he worked with him in Cleveland. That's who he's used to.
but it
And
was half a season.
yeah, that's true. But what if he's seen anything during that half a season? That caught his eye and said, "Hey, he can do the job." Because remember, and I don't want to throw his name out there, but look at what Shador did the last half of the season when he did play. He
But they were
showed flashes.
but they were still bottom of the league. They were still 30. They're 30th in the league on offense.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? 31st overall, 30th like in the pass game, 30th in the run game. It's like offensive line ain't all that. It's like I guess you
Well,
could say he can come down here and change that narrative for himself as
but
well.
that's,
Because he
that's
got
the
better talent.
upgrade. That's the upgrade, though, Chris.
God
That's
dang,
the,
that feels like a
that,
cop out.
that's the upgrade.
It just all feels. Gosh, that's tough, y'all. I ain't even gonna
I
lie
mean,
to
I
you.
don't agree with Tommy Reese either because I would be honestly, um, I would see what the other Kubiak brother would be doing because he was brought up in the same system. He's probably know what Stefanski wants to do.
You talking about Clay, right?
Yeah, Clay
Yeah,
Kubiak.
that's why I had said the other day. I was like, you could see Clay Kubiak, but I mean, I know he doesn't call plays either necessarily. But I mean, at least he's out there with Shanahan, but
And he knows the system.
right, which means you may need to go Josh Williams then.
Mm. Yeah, and see that and I think even though we know Tommy Reese is going to be the offensive coordinator, um, I think that's going to kind of factor into who we go with GM. And since we probably got an idea who we want to bring in with his staff, and they probably talked about that the other night at Arthur Blank's house about his outlook for his coaching staff, who he's going to bring in, what's their philosophy, what they're going to do. They got all that in place. With that being said, that's why I think Ian Cunningham is the guy, because if they got everything in place and Matt Ryan pretty much that connection to Chicago, it just only makes sense. But staying dangerous. He said, "Thank you for the donation, my brother." He said he got a question. You think they might have jumped too soon since McDermott got fired? I kind of like Kevin's scheme, but can't help but wonder what if.
Nah,
Man,
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't think we should have waited on McDermott. I really don't. To be honest with you, if I had to choose, if you had to make me choose, I probably would have said neither. But if I had to choose between one of the two, I guess I would have chose probably Kevin Stefanski as well, just being the offensive mind, because I know that that's not necessarily Sean McDermott. Well, it is, but I feel like Stefanski is ahead of McDermott, if that makes any sense.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know about that one, Jermaine. I ain't gonna lie. I don't trust McDermott, but then again, I don't trust either one of them. Either one of them, like personally, if I want to put my personal feelings into it, like I would have to be won over by either coach if you would have hired if either one of them was here. Well, I mean,
But
is here, but you know what I'm saying.
But think about what I've been saying, Chris. You got to think about the experience factor. And what I keep telling y'all, what a lot of fans fail to understand, when you talk about Stefanski as what he's been doing for the last damn near 20 years, he's been around quarterbacks.
Right.
So what is our main problem right now? The quarterback position. They invested in Mike Penix. He did get hurt this year. He probably won't play this year. He may not. And we may see Kirk Cousins again. I keep telling y'all, but think about the experience that he had coaching quarterbacks. This is why he won the job over Kubiak. And like Keith said, he's not sure if Kubiak wanted to come in anyway because he got plenty of opportunities, like y'all said.
Dude.
But this is why he was also chosen over other guys who they brought in as head coaches, because of the experience with the quarterback position. And we can talk about development all day. But when you put together the right coaching staff around the quarterback, he would develop properly on his own. If he's doing right in the film room, you doing right on the practice field, You working through things on game day. You got the right mindset. You are developed. They
Yeah.
keeping Michael Penix in mind when they made this move. That's what I keep telling y'all. When they made this move, Mike Penix was in mind because you think about it, and you brought it to my attention. And you threw it out there, and it made sense. And now that I've been reading, they could release Kirk Cousins, but also bring him back at the same time.
They
Because
could.
guess what? He's a veteran. He's worked with Stefanski in Minnesota. And guess what? After that, if they sign him to a new 2-year deal, hell, if he playing good enough, we may not even see Michael Penix for the Falcons again. Because by the time he comes back, it'll be his 4th year. But if Kirk doing his thing and decides to come back after a playoff run, he gonna keep the job.
Right. Right.
And
And
they not giving him a 5th year option. So look, this is a quarterback driven decision. I'm gonna just keep it at that. It's a quarterback driven decision. But go ahead.
no, it definitely could be. I just want to clear just the whole thing with McDermott because remember also McDermott is a defensive minded coach too. We've been talking about we wanted an offensive minded coach, somebody that can come in. If you bring in McDermott, do you think Ulbrich is here? I don't.
Nope.
And also think about this too. Like McDermott comes in, he does have a way better record than the last two guys. Than the last two guys and your current guy, as far as you're talking about head coaching record, because he is 98-50, but his postseason record, he's 8-8. And that right there, for me, getting to the postseason is cool. But the fact that never being able to get over the hump, that right there, it was his only knock. But again, we wanted offensive-minded coach. That's not Sean McDermott as well. So it would have been a whole lot of turnover. You wait and you bring him in. Nate Ollie's probably gone. Jeff Ulbricht's probably gone. He brings in his guys, and that would have been the end of that.
Yep.
Just something to consider.
Absolutely. Dirty Bird for Life. I read that Harbaugh didn't want to answer to Matt Ryan. A lot of coaches may not like our new organizational structure. I still don't like Stefanski. How you will see. And see, that's another thing, man. It is all about structure with some coaches. A lot of and John Harbaugh wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one that wanted to bring in his own GM. But at the same time, what I told y'all earlier, Matt Ryan and Kevin Stefanski working to bring in the GM. So it would have been the same thing. I just think it had more to do with personnel and not really having a clear vision at the quarterback position is the reason why John Harbaugh didn't take the Falcons job. Because I'm sure he was offered it. And we had a quarterback in place, a consistent quarterback, I think he would have took the job without a doubt. Because he has everything in place. One of the best players in the league, solid offense, solid defense. And he's a special teams guy, so he wouldn't have had to worry about that.
Absolutely, bro. So I'm like, it's just perspective about for everything. Like, so just giving going back through everything. Of course, Jeff Ulbrich. I think we're all in agreement. We want to keep Ulbrich. We want to keep Ollie. Build off that defense. Have something to build off of. Keep that chemistry, the cohesion. Keep all that stuff together. Camaraderie, whatever word you want to use. So it's just keep that there. Dwayne Letford, it is sad to see Dwayne go because he's done a good job for that offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. We got to give him his props for that. But overall, I mean, Bill Callahan, bigger resume, somebody that Kevin Stefanski is going to want to work with.
Read my mind.
Bigger resume is somebody that he
wants to experience.
Yeah, and you think about it, the only reason he really left was for two reasons. The last year working with Kevin Stefanski and the offensive line goes, well, first of all, let me start from the good. The first year was the best because they were the number one offensive line. Then after that, you went to 8th, you went to 6th, then you went to 24th because you were dealing with injuries. Then he moved on and went working with his son. I do not fault him for that because if it was me, I would have left and go work with my son too. So I don't fault him for the way he did down there in Tennessee because honestly, he did have a bad offensive line down there in Tennessee, and he tried to do his best with it, but it just didn't pan out. The talent just wasn't there. The best talent that you had PFF wise was a 79. Everybody else was below. So I mean, for those who love the PFF,
that was probably Jeffrey Simmons.
No, I'm talking about, I said on the offensive line. So I believe it was I wanted to say Lathan. Either Lathan was the best or Lathan was one.
Yeah, it was Lathan. It had to be Lathan.
But yeah, right. But either way it go, that still was at 79 at best.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So at the same time, him coming over here now, it could possibly help the Atlanta Falcons be even better. Hopefully we can get a number one offensive line, because if we can do that for a few seasons, maybe we can extend a guy like Michael Penix's career in the NFL if you have the protection and if he has the confidence in the offensive line and in the coaching staff that he's protected, then he can be fine. Maybe he won't have so much of like happy feet so much, and can be even better confidence in the pocket, et cetera, et cetera. So just to cater into what you were saying about the quarterback move and Michael Penix, for those who care, Michael Penix likes to move himself as well. He's like, okay, that's what's up. Let's get to work, because he knows this is an experienced offensive mind as well. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not saying that they went to Michael Penix and just said, hey, Mike, what you think about Kevin Stefanski? I'm not saying that. I'm saying, though, I do feel like they had him in mind, and I know that he was a topic of conversation at that dinner at Arthur Blank's house. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Because how could you not sit to talk about a head coach and not talk about the quarterback position? So I'm just saying. So is Mike McDaniel? Oh, let's see. Shout out Bed Boss said, is Mike McDaniels off the table now as OC? I do think so.
Yeah, I think he gets another head coaching job.
Yeah, it's too many coming open. It's too many becoming available.
Way too many. He's an offensive mind, and he's in the line with the Matt LaFleur's and the Kyle Shanahan and all these guys. I throw a curveball, even though I think Brian Flores would be a better hire for Baltimore because of his defensive presence. But if you find a way to unlock Lamar's full potential, and I think Todd Monken done that already. But if you could take that to another level with play calling, like what McDaniels offers, who likes to stretch the field vertically, man, that would be hard to beat, because if they get better at passing, they'll be more dangerous at running. So I like Mike McDaniel in Baltimore. I think it makes a whole lot of sense, because no matter who they bring in a defensive coordinator, that's what they structure their team around, defense. All they need is somebody to bring in that can call the defense and do what they need to do to make that defense itself. Just like we talk about Jeff Ulbrich. They need the same type defensive coordinator to come in and change that defense around. And they back to being the Ravens again. You add an offensive mind for Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and those receivers, Baltimore right back at the top of the AFC North.
Yeah, I can see that. Hey, I can see him go to the Bills too, working with Josh Allen. Get him possibly, you know what I'm saying, actual wide receiver. I think that he would actually work on trying to get him somebody that can not, because it's like they have three guys that feels like one out there, you know. So it's like they need some offense out there outside of just James Cook. I believe they got it right at running back, but they still need some other offensive weapons. Josh has really never really just had a lot. I had a comparison for Josh Allen today. Somebody was like, hey, explain Josh Allen in NBA terms to me. I was like, oh, James Harden, Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
This thing he had was Chris Paul and Clint Capella.
Yeah. Yep.
Putting up numbers, won an MVP, but
That's
still
perfect.
just never get to that. Man, that's what it feels like. But, you know, at the end of the day,
I give you a better one. And I stay in the NFL. And it's the same style quarterback. You look at John Elway. John Elway made the 2-3 Super Bowl before he won the Super Bowl. He had to get the right coaching now, which was Mike Shanahan. Dan Reeves had a old school way of coaching. He worked for the Falcons. He got them to the Super Bowl, but it didn't get them over the top.
I was saying, what coach was that we were going against in the Super Bowl?
Mike Shanahan.
Shit, crazy. Can't make
So
this up.
look, you can't make it up. So look, sometimes you just need that coach that can push you over the top. And we cried all last year about the offense and what the hell was Zach Robinson doing. Now that we got an offensive mind in here that's head and shoulders above Zach Robinson, y'all still mad.
No,
Make
I mean,
it make sense.
yeah, that's true. Folks still upset, man. But I
Think
like this
about
question right here. Oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
think about the game that we lost by one score. Think
Uh,
about the bad clock management we had in those 2 or 3 of those games we lost. Think
uh,
about Michael Penix looking the mode all season. Think about the games we lost on the last drive. Think about the clock management. Think about all that. And you upgrade that to a guy that could possibly get you back to the Kyle Shanahan level when it comes to offense and play calling. And we want Michael Penix to work out. We do. Because if we do, we got a quarterback for the next 10 years at least, if it works out.
It'd be nice. It really would be nice. Because Matty, I'm telling you, y'all, Matt Ryan spoiled us. He gave us 13 years of being a durable Iron Man, regardless, game in and game out. So it's just like now to not have that, we're searching and we're looking for that durable quarterback who can be there for us. And, we're hoping that it can be Mike, but it's just, I mean, the people being skeptical about his health, I honestly have no problem with that because you'd be crazy not to at least think about it. But regardless, getting back to this point about being comfortable about Jeff Ulbrich, I am comfortable with Jeff Ulbrich, even though we did get blown out a couple of games. Think about it. The time of possession. Let's think about the game within the game.
Yep.
Time of possession was not on our side a lot of times in those games. Offense was not moving the ball. Offense was stagnant. Play calling was atrocious. And next thing you know, we're throwing the defense out there again saying, go get them again, killer. Now, don't get me wrong. The Houston Texans, yesterday, they bowled their back and they overcame a few things as well. And I understand that, other teams can do it. I feel you. But I'm just talking about the Atlanta Falcons, a team who is still learning how to win with all these, because we haven't won in 8 seasons. So the team that's still trying to learn how to win, you have to win a lot of games within the game. And when you have mismanagement, when you have bad play calling, when you have mismanagement of the time clock, of the timeouts, of the et cetera, I'm just saying you have so many disadvantages. You have the special teams that give up terrible field position. You know what I'm saying? So you have all those things. So you got the defense really sandwiched between bad special teams, inconsistent play calling, and mismanagement of a team from a head coach, and you want the defense to still save you? How?
Exactly. It ain't gonna work. You see, that's what me and Chris Berto, all of this is what we've been telling y'all the whole time. When you on offense and you can't move the football, guess what? Field position matters. Because how many times have they went for it on 4th down and gave the team a short field? How many times have they had the game in their hands and made a bad call throwing the ball on a 3rd and 2 when they need 2 yards in the seal of the football game?
Mm-hmm.
That lets you know that Zach Robinson, he wasn't fit for the job. Even though he getting calls to go be offensive coordinator somewhere else, he needs to go to the college level and figure things out before he take another NFL job. That's my opinion.
Hey.
But the defense can only go so far. They can only go so far. Grandizer, what's up, my guy? He said, Brown content creator, I follow Uncle to the max. I know who he is. He said Stefanski was the fall guy. It was bad GM and ownership who were at fault. Also, the Browns got hit with the injury bug bad. But you got to coach around injuries. We talk about that all the time. That's what coaches get paid to do. This is why you have 53 men on the roster. But I told y'all, Cleveland front office is garbage. And they kept Andrew Berry. And that's the crazy part. And the owner, Lord, I don't know what's going on with him and his real estate ventures. But for them not to have more stuff in place with a player like Myles Garrett, that one of the best, probably the best defensive player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me you look that bad on offense because you made a $230 million investment that backfired? You
Right.
got rid of your best running back over the last 5 years, and Nick Chubb. I know he had injuries, and I know he getting up the hill, but still, you don't
Right.
have a number one receiver. Your best receiver is your tight end. You damn sure didn't throw him the ball this year, David Njoku. But Harry Fannin stepped up.
Right.
But you had
And
3-4 quarterbacks on the field. So look, I'm telling you,
I can believe
he
this
getting
though.
he getting bad rap, man, because of the Browns organization. And I get it.
They're a bad
I get it.
organization though. They always have been. I ain't even trying to be fun. I know, don't get me wrong, because I know somebody's gonna go dig it up, but I already know. Yes, the Browns have a winning record against the Falcons, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, overall, the totality of it all, I ain't talking about one-on-ones here. I'm just talking about overall. The Browns are a bad organization. They made a bad trade, gave a guaranteed money 230, something that Falcons weren't going to do, by the way. But they gave all that money to Deshaun, ruined what Kevin Stefanski was trying to build with Baker Mayfield up there. I just
Right.
can't overlook that fact, that the fact that he never wanted this guy. And I'm just saying, like, how can you anybody be mad for not wanting a guy? If he didn't want the guy, he didn't want the guy, but don't force the guy to work with the guy he doesn't want. So regardless, I still do have to take that with a grain of salt, just like everyone says about with the record and everybody says about with Shador. Like I said earlier, that's what's happening up there with Cleveland. I'm worried about him coming down here ending our 8-year playoff drought the same way he ended the 18-year playoff drought for the Cleveland Browns. I'm hoping that he can come down here and he can be what Mike Vrabel is to the Patriots right now, because he was with a bad organization with the Tennessee Titans. So I feel like we're a bit better than that. I feel like we're a bit better than the Browns. So
Yeah.
let's just wait and see, y'all, and just see if this offensive-minded, experienced guy that even if whether he was our first or second option or not, just see if he can come in here and right the ship and we can go forward and move forward, y'all. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying like the guy, love the guy, or anything. I'm just saying let's just see what the guy can do.
Yep. HO, what's up, my guy? He said we had to mention that Kevin had 13 different quarterbacks in 6 years. That's a sign right there. Tell me how can we help our quarterback situation? We had 13, he didn't develop. Very alarming. And see, that's the thing. You got to think how many offensive coordinators he had too. You got to think about who the front office put on the field for him. This is what y'all are not understanding. If and Chris said it, if for instance, if I'm a head coach, I got a plan in place, and I'm looking at a particular quarterback that I want to bring in because I think it fits my system to a T. But you bring in the quarterback that you want, being the owner and the GM, and expect me to coach it when it is not catered to what I like to do.
Yeah.
So this is why they had the whole quarterback shuffle with the 13 quarterbacks. They tried to make a square peg fit in a round hole, and it's not gonna work. And this is why I keep saying, expect Kirk Cousins to come back possibly, because he's coached Kirk Cousins in Minnesota for years, a couple of years, and Kirk was thriving when he was the offensive coordinator. So they have history. So he fits what Stefanski likes. It's a high possibility, like Chris said, if they cut him, he could test the market, come back, be our quarterback still. I might not like it, but if he knows the system and he down with it, ain't nothing I can say. Nothing.
Right. And again, I respect me personally. I respect everyone's opinion. You know, HO, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, it can be very alarming when you look on the surface of it. I mean, you want to look at the talent of some of those kids too. I mean, were they really ready? Were they really the guys to pan out? And then going back to it, just the Browns are just bad. They're just a bad organization. You remember we took a guy or a couple of guys from them in Taylor Gabriel and Alex Mack and went to the Super Bowl because they didn't know how to manage the guys.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying we took their trash and made it treasures because we knew what to do with it. We had the guys that could do it. Remember the Kyle Shanahan's, and remember what he had. Remember we started calling Table Gale with Tot Turbo.
Yep.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
kept
Because
that
of
name.
what he do.
That was actually the Instagram name for a little while.
That's what I'm saying,
He
bro.
kept that
Again,
name.
Alex Mack. Sure, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm about to say all-star, Pro Bowl type center, someone who elevated your offense, and we go to the freaking Super Bowl. So again, the Browns are known for mismanaging talent, mismanaging the front office, just being a mismanagement. You know, I'm just giving some grace to Kevin Stefanski because he was working with trash up there. There, I said it. I said it.
Yeah. It don't get no simpler than that. But Simon said the Browns had a coaching carousel of assistants throughout his tenure. You cannot develop quarterbacks as well other players that type of inconsistency. That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Right. And we're not asking you guys to still like the hire or anything like that. We're just saying give it a chance. We gave Raheem a chance, y'all. We gave Arthur Smith a chance. I'm just saying we at least got
He
to,
only
you know.
he only had 1 and 2 years with Baker. That's because they wanted Deshaun Watson.
Shipped off Baker. They shipped him off. He didn't want to do that because he knew seeing what he was building with Baker. Now Baker.
Hey nephew, hold on, Chris. Nephew, I love you, but you're not finna do this here, not today. I don't let you slide. You're not finna disrespect the chat.
Yeah,
I love you. I appreciate your support, but you're not finna do it. So chill out.
Let's please keep it respectful, man. But and I get it, you know, like we all have our
frustrated. I get you frustrated, but chill out.
Yeah, let's just try to keep it all respectful because we all still rep the Falcons at the end of the day. That's what we got.
And you causing me a disservice because whatever you putting up there, you two looking at me about it now. If I block you, you're gonna think I'm wrong, but you're gonna get my channel strike if you keep putting that garbage up on the screen. Trust me. They watching me.
They watching. Feds watching.
But Granddad's we gonna end it with this. He said Smitty and Chris talking fans away from the ledge. I really like this hire. I'm excited to see what he can do with this offense. But again, the O-line got to know what he would do. That's easy. When Bill Callahan gets to town, you're gonna see a lot of shifting. And you can see more, athletic, agile offensive lineman at tackle position. I think we said at the guard position, but I keep saying if we get Tyler Linderbaum, that center position is going to be key because if you bring in whether it's a veteran or a young quarterback, that veteran center going to help that young quarterback or help that veteran get their point across. It's just like Alex Mack took Matt Ryan to the next level. So we'll know soon as to what they're going to do with the offensive line position. And I think Bill Callahan was the right hire to come along with him because the offensive line has struggled a little bit just the last couple of years with injuries, but at the same time, scheme and what Zach Robinson was trying to do, and we still don't know. But we'll know soon exactly what they're gonna do.
No, for sure, we will. I mean, and hopefully, very soon. Like I feel like it either may come out either later today, or they could be deliberating. But I expect the GM to be hired this week, and we be right back on here talking about it and putting all the pieces together and everything like that once again, y'all. So be on the lookout. It should be.
But Millie Mills, he said frustrated about what though? We still get the same guy y'all want, just with head coach experience. Do your research, people.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
and be fair, because this guy is just pretty much an advanced and experienced version of Clint Kubiak.
Right.
When Clint was pretty much a young pup as an OC, this guy was already OCing. And then next thing you know, he's being a head coach. They've worked together. They have. Yeah. That's why I said, hey, if Clint was the guy back before the playoffs had even started, I was like, well, if Clint is the guy, he still could bring in Stefanski as an OC because they've worked together. But, of course, now Stefanski's the head coach. There's no need for that. We just got to figure out the OC thing. I don't agree with Tommy Reese. I mean,
I
I'm
don't
just gonna be open and honest
But
with it.
we gonna go with the flow. We gonna go with the flow.
That's it. That's it. We're going. Hey, you got on that Falcon hat? I'm behind you. No matter how.
Solomon, last question for real this time. Last question, cause I know Chris got to roll. Do y'all think the scheme, Callahan's scheme, will fit the personnel of our offensive line? That's what we were saying. They probably gonna reshuffle the line and try to make it fit to what Kevin Stefanski needs and what Bill Callahan is used to. Can they use what we have? Yes, they can, but they will have to, scheme differently. So I think they're gonna make the move that they need in order for the scheme to work the way Stefanski wants. But we'll see how they shuffle things. But we know Jake Matthews is long in the tooth. Caleb McGarry, he's getting up there in age, so we can see new tackles very soon. Who knows? I'm just guessing that's not rumors, but we'll see how it play out, Solomon. But I do feel like they're gonna make the right move to get everything situated the way they need. But you know what to do, Chris, man. Tell everybody where to find you.
Hey man, A1 Forever Sports, that's the platform on YouTube. And I also will say this too. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into his contract situation and whatnot. But matter of fact, real quick.
Contract?
Okay. Never mind. He may be a free agent. Tevin Jenkins. That could be a name.
Former Bears offensive lineman.
Yeah, played with the Cleveland Browns this past year as well. That's another guy that could be he plays guard, but he could be swinging around because he played a little bit of center too. So that's another name to keep an eye on outside of. I just wanted to give a name outside of Lindenbaum, even though is the ideal guy. But I just wanted to give a guy who has played guard and center, and that was.
I'm gonna throw out more than Lindenbaum for sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you, Larry. Dixon Way, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out, man. He does his thing. Him and his wife Shonda, man. Man, where y'all at, Dixon Way? About 30K now? About 30K subs now?
Hey man, they getting it, boy. I love it.
Man, they doing their thing. But either way it goes, still like for me, like I said, A1 Forever Sports platform on YouTube. Also catch me on the Hawks Digest as well. Hawks got a game coming on.
Oh yeah, the police coming. They finna lock you up, Chris. You hear the sirens? They finna come get you.
No, man, it ain't me. I ain't did nothing wrong. Last time
they say you told Matt Ryan how you catch the Falcons, so they coming for you.
Nah.
Go ahead, my bad.
Matt Ryan do no such thing. Matt Ryan wouldn't listen to me anyway right now. Trust me. I'd have been having him probably waiting on the guy that maybe not even chose us. You never know. But at the same time, though, yeah, again, Instagram, A1 Forever, Twitter, A1 Forever, and the real A1 Forever on TikTok. Y'all, hey, now this is, I really want y'all to do this, though. Find y'all peace today. Positive energy always creates elevation. Let's try to elevate Kevin Stefanski because he is the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Let's try to shake off whatever reports and everything is out. And let's just hope moving forward that the first 6 games of the Atlanta Falcons 2026-27 season will be at either 6-0, 5-1, or at least 4-2.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. But Granddad, appreciate you for coming through, my guy. He said, thank y'all for talking to us, taking questions, and giving us the news. Stay healthy, happy, and safe, and blessed. Appreciate you, Granddad. So you got to keep that positive attitude, man. Also, catch me on Twitter at fatboyslim_21. I'm always over there blowing things up. Also, catch me on YouTube as I give y'all breaking news, my thoughts on, the latest topics. I do other sports as well. Also, don't forget tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, our buddy, Todd McClure, Atlanta Falcons legend, Ring of Honor inductee, is going to stop in and talk to us tomorrow night. Give us some thoughts on, what's been going on with the Falcons the last 5 days, and give his thoughts on, the coaching hire. We're going to talk about the offensive line because that's going to be key going into the offseason. But y'all got to tune in to catch that because, trust me, we're going to have a good time, man, like we always do on this channel. But, yeah, he coming through Billy Mills. He'll be here tomorrow, man. So y'all tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And we done gave y'all an hour. And like I said, my boy Chris got to run. But we're going to holler at y'all later, man.
Peace. In a minute.